What's going on, everyone? It's Halo Reach Tutor with an all-new gameplay video. Today I'm playing Team Sniper's Big Team Battle on the map Paradiso. Along the way I'm going to be giving you lots of tips and tricks to help you improve your own gameplay, so stay tuned and enjoy the footage. Now I really like Paradiso, it's a lot of fun. I love the spacing, I love the layout. The reason being is that it allows you to play a combination of offense and defense, because it's very important, of course, to score as many points as possible, but you also want to ensure that the opposing team is scoring as few points as possible. Now, one way that you can do that when you're playing Team Snipers is to be very mindful of the lines of sight. What that means is if you drew a line between yourself and any opposing player, you want there to be something in the way, right? You don't want a clear line of sight for your opponent, because you don't want them shooting you down from long range. So you can see here I'm using the rocks for cover, putting rocks and hills in between myself and the red base where most of the red players are coming from. And as I sprint across this area heading towards this mountain, I'm continuing to check back towards the red base where they may be coming from. Now as I proceed to the top of the mountain, I don't go clear to the top because I want the tip of the mountain to prevent or cut off the line of sight between myself and the red base, or where most of the red players presumably are. Now this guy, on the other hand, up on top of that tower is very exposed. I'm going to miss him, but my teammates are going to pick him up because there are almost unlimited lines of sight towards that player, okay? So as I proceed a little bit closer to the red base, I'm continuing to be very mindful of preventing the other players from scoring at all. I see that there's nobody coming up this open area, so I head through the tunnels. And of course the tunnels are very safe in Team Snipers because there are no lines of sight here in the tunnels. Nobody can see me. And I spot a couple mongooses heading to the other side, so I'm going to go check them out, see what I can do. Now I strongly discourage you from getting on these mongooses when you're playing Team Snipers, because getting on a mongoose does not constitute playing defense, and that's what I'm talking about here. The mongooses are very noisy, they attract a lot of attention, and you can't even shoot anything while you're on the mongooses, so you want to stay away, especially on Team Snipers, okay? It's really an inappropriate vehicle. Here I get nice assassination, but then I'm completely overwhelmed. There's like 5 guys coming at me through this tunnel, so right as I'm going down, I lob a grenade, and it pays off with a kill from the grave. That's really satisfying to do, and honestly, folks, it's not that hard. Anytime you're going down, you know you're outnumbered, you know you're overwhelmed, your shields are down, lob that grenade, see if you can bounce a frag off the wall or stick somebody with a sticky grenade, and you'll find that does wonders for your KD ratio, okay? If you can get those kills from the grave with regularity, as I do, you're going to see your KD spread improve game after game, okay? That's a very critical and simple tactic to use. Now here I'm anticipating that most of the red players are going to be spawning over on the red side, and this is a pretty good spot. I have excellent visibility. I can see down onto the back side of this area if anybody ventures back this direction. As you can see, I pick him up there. And also when they respawn over towards the red base, I have excellent lines of sight here. At the same time, I can stay back behind these rocks here, which cuts off the line of sight between the red base and myself. So I can fall back behind the rocks for cover as I need to, but then come up on top of the rocks to line up a couple shots. You get a real nice look at a headshot there. Now another thing I want to mention is that when you're playing Team Snipers, it's a lot different than if you have a sniper rifle and a traditional game type, okay? There's a couple differences, and they're very obvious, but the implications are not quite as obvious, so I'm going to talk about the implications. The first difference, obviously, everybody's got a sniper rifle as opposed to just 1 or 2 players. As you see, I get a real nice sniper spree, killing spree right there. And everybody's got a sniper rifle, and on top of that, the second difference is everybody has unlimited ammunition, okay? So that much is obvious, but what does that do for the gameplay? How do you want to adjust your gameplay with those 2 factors in mind? Well, first of all, you're going to notice that a lot of times when you scope in, you're going to be looking right down the barrel of another sniper, okay? That's going to happen actually very frequently with regularity. So it's going to turn into kind of a wild, wild west showdown, okay? In the Wild Wild West movies, you got one guy at the end of each street. He's got his hand right over his pistol, and he's going to whip it out and fire as quickly as possible. Well, that's kind of how it is with Team Snipers, okay? You're going to want to find your shot, line it up, and take it very, very quickly. That being the case, you may find yourself sacrificing a little bit of accuracy for speed, and that is okay. Alright, you want to keep in mind that speed is a little more important than accuracy when you're playing on Team Snipers. And I'll tell you why. When you have a traditional sniper rifle, you have a very finite amount of ammunition, okay? And so you want to make every shot count. You do that by being patient and lining up headshots, okay? That way you don't waste any ammunition. In Team Snipers, you're not worried about wasting ammunition, okay? You have unlimited ammunition. So that's the first thing. The second thing is when you're in one of these showdowns, it's face-to-face, you're both sniping at one another, you're both aware of where each other is. If you can hit the other player first, even if it's just a body shot, you're going to reset his scope, and before he can re-scope in, or whether he can, before he can get out of the way, you can probably tag him with a second body shot and finish the job, okay? So a lot of times it's going to require 2 body shots as opposed to being patient and lining up the headshot, but that's just fine. And a lot of times you can get a real slick assassination like I do here. Gotta love those. Those are so much fun. And of course there's no radar on Team Snipers, so you need to be very mindful about your surroundings and prevent yourself from being assassinated and embarrassed like that player there. Now the third topic that I want to cover today is anticipation, alright? There's 2 types of anticipation. The first type is you want to anticipate where your opponents are going to be, okay? If you can do that, then you can line up the shot quickly, and usually from behind covers I get a real sweet double kill, double headshot. You want to be able to line up that shot from behind cover if you can, like this red player is going to do right here. However, I do it a little bit better and I get my second killing spree of the game. You want to line up that shot from behind cover, pop back out, take the shot quickly, and then fall back behind cover, okay? That's called excellent anticipation, and if you can do it well, if you can anticipate that shot and line it up when you cannot even see the other players, you're going to get a lot of kills and you're not going to be shot down very often. Now the other thing that you can do in terms of anticipation is anticipate the general location of your opponents, as I get my second sniper spree of the game. If you can anticipate where the opposing players are going to be, you're going to be able to get a lot more kills. And there's a lot of different ways that you can anticipate where they're going to be at, okay? Mostly during this game I anticipated where the red players were going to be, and that's generally surrounding the red base, okay? Because I know that they're going to be respawning there, and for the most part they were staying in the same area. They weren't moving. There's another way that you can anticipate where your opposing players are going to be, and that's through communication with your teammates, okay? If you've got your headset on and talking to your teammates, that can be a real positive thing when you're playing Team Snipers, because there's no radar system, and so by communicating with one another, you can really help each other out. But even if you don't have teammates who are communicating with you, a lot of times if you're looking at their tags and if you notice whether they are red, orange, blue, or yellow, you can really tell a lot about where your opponents are at and what they are doing. Finally, when it comes to anticipation, you do not want to allow the other team to anticipate where you're going to be. Now, even though I've spent most of this gameplay in this same area, I have moved around in this area quite a bit. You'll see I'm never standing still. Okay, I'm always moving from one side of the rocks to the other. Maybe I'm up on top of the rocks. And by moving around quite a bit and changing my specific location, even though my general location is the same, it makes the red team very hard to line up a shot on me from behind cover, because once I pop out of cover, they have no clue where I'm going to be, okay? So anticipation is critical when you are anticipating the area of your opponents, as well as not allowing your opponents to anticipate where you are going to be. So let me review a couple of the tips that I've covered so far. Lines of sight are critical. You want to put something in between yourself and your opponents until you are ready to anticipate that shot and line it up yourself. Also, be mindful that speed is a little more important than accuracy, and if you're getting double body shots, that's just fine because you have unlimited ammunition and you don't want to allow the opposing players to stay scoped in for long. Thanks for watching today, folks. This is Halo Reach Tutor signing out. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to my channel. Check it out. I have lots of other fantastic videos. Please give a thumb up and leave a comment before you go. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.